This is the iPod Touch 3rd generation. It's actually very similar to the 2nd generation iPod Touch. To tell the difference, on the back you should see there that there's only 2 lines of writing. This is on all the 3rd generations, whereas the 2nd generation had 3 or 4 lines of writing. So that's one easy way to tell the difference. To open the iPod Touch, we're going to use a safe open pry tool and run this between the metal chrome frame and the glass digitizer, as being shown here in the video. There are several clips on all sides of the iPod, and all these clips need to be released. We want to start trying to pry it from the bottom, as there is a ribbon cable being connected in the top left corner. Once we have popped out the clips at the bottom, we can continue to pop out the clips along the sides. Once the clips have been released, we can lift up the digitizer, but be careful as it is still held in place by the ribbon cable in the top left corner. The ribbon from the digitizer is connected to the iPod. This pop connector is shown here. To safely release the digitizer from the iPod, use a safe pry tool and gently pop the connector up, as being shown here in the video. You will then be able to remove the digitizer. Once you have removed the digitizer from the iPod, you should be left with the 2 parts like this. On the left, the digitizer with the midsection, and on the right, the rest of the iPod. Here you can see the digitizer, which is connected to the midsection and also has the home button and home button flex attached. We need to separate these before installing the new digitizer. To replace the digitizer on the iPod Touch 3rd generation, we have 2 options. We can purchase a new midsection as well and just install the new digitizer straight into the new midsection and then into the iPod, or we can use the original midsection. But to do this, we need to first separate the digitizer from the midsection. The method to separate the digitizer from the midsection is exactly the same as the method used for the 2nd generation iPod Touch. So to save repeating ourselves, we are going to use a clip from the iPod Touch 2nd generation video. Place the pry tool between the midsection and the digitizer and start to gently pry apart. If you're having trouble separating, you may wish to use a hot hairdryer or a heat gun to warm the glue to make this process easier. If you are replacing a cracked digitizer, be careful of the small sharp pieces of glass. Continue to gently pry these parts apart until separated. Once separated, you should have the midsection, the home button and the digitizer, as shown here in the video. Your midsection will probably have some leftover glue on it, like the midsection here being shown in the video. You need to remove this excess glue before we can install the new digitizer. Once you've removed all the glue from the midsection, it should look something like what we have here in the video. What we need to do now is put the home button back into place, and we are now ready to attach the new